It is 8 o'clock, so I will call this meeting to order. Certification open meeting laws. Mary's nodding. Good. We have a 17-item agenda. Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
One of you want to second that? Okay. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. Minutes from previous meetings.
I'll second that.
Okay, anybody have any comments, questions? I have one if I find it here. Capital. It was in regard to the discussion possible action on the resolution to authorize utilize capital expenditure for the camera system. Down about
17,000?
3 lines up from the bottom of that. Approximate 146,000 remains and will go to Petrick Park project. That was not my understanding of what was left of that money. Does anybody else see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That remainder was supposed to, my understanding was sit there for potential other uses, including the possibility of that.
But then I wondered if it was a typo and it was supposed to be 14,000. So,
But it wasn't for it, it was,
but yes, that's the way I understood it as well.
that, where were we? That line that says approximately 146,000 remains and will go back to Pitrick Park. The 146,000 remains is correct, but the statement will go to Pitrick Park project, I think needs to be eliminated from the minutes.
Yeah, that would probably be the cleanest, just to eliminate
If it's not consistent with your recollection, I would.
Right, unless somebody recollects something different.
No, that's what you said, it was gonna go back in, just that 14,000 for them. was supposed to
Right,
go
yep,
back. The
right.
rest goes back in for future use.
For future use, right, okay. So,
I agree. That's-
well, I guess with that, I will make the motion that the words, come on, why is it every time I look at this, I find a different spot? Here, the approximate of 146,000 remains, period, and the "and will go to Petrick Park project" be eliminated from the minutes. That's, there. No, I put that out as a motion to be,
I'll second that.
okay, second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor of that change, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, any other questions on the minutes? Okay, all in favor of the minutes as adjusted, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? We have a public comment period. Members of the public will have a 15-minute block of time to comment on today's agenda items. Members may be present in person or call in to make such comments. Comment by telephone, please call 715-538-1894. Public comment may be extended or curtailed at the discretion of the committee/board chair after advisement of the board. Is there anybody in the audience live here wishing to discuss, comment on our agenda? Not seeing any hands raised. We'll leave the phone open for a few minutes in case somebody does. And move on to the county sales tax and general fund updates. See, so John, I couldn't find those in my packet. John found it someplace, so I got a chance to look at it. General fund is really no change from last month. Sales tax, John, you want to read those numbers? It was a nice boost from last month to get us back towards average.
27, almost 20. Total for a year right now, you want a year or What it was,
Well,
last month was
the amount for the month was,
last month was 278, 896, 85,
and then the total was 2.5 something,
2.523, 29410.
which is right in line with our budget. Yep. Any other comments? Okay. Department reports and requests. Susan, you said you had to leave. Do you have anything you need to bring to us or anything?
No, thank you for
Okay.
asking.
Quarterly update and records with Ann.
Happy New Year, everyone. Did you guys get my report in your packet? Okay. First of all, I can't take credit for most of the work that was completed this quarter. I was on medical leave, and then the last 2 weeks I've been on vacation. So I really want to give kudos to Tess and Nick. They deserve all the credit for holding down the fort and doing a great job and getting everything done while I was gone, so. And my reports, per usual, kind of everything that we've done in the last quarter, the last year. I do have a typo on page 2 where it says the 2025 grant payment schedule. That should be 2026. I applied for and got the approval for these grants, $64,464 and $20,000, and then $1,000 for training and education. And then page 3 shows how many people are using our online GIS mapping site. The average request per day, 3,811. And then there's a calculator that shows the staff savings and then the constituent savings by using that website instead of coming in and seeing us face to face. Although we like seeing people face to face, but it does save people time and money. Page 5 shows our Trempealeau County Tourism webpage, how many hits that's getting in the last year, over 2 million. And then page 6 is our surveyors portal. That's for the surveyors to do the research at the, they can access that from their office instead of coming in and doing research. The only other thing I really wanted to point out is that we got new software for tax and assessment. We hosted a training for all the municipal treasurers here at the county. It really was a good turnout, and after that, the people in our office have been assisting all the municipal treasurers with this new software because it changes hard and they just needed a little extra help. So I think between land records and the treasurer's office, we've been really helping them a lot. I have a report from the real property lister, Nick, in here, page 8 and 9. And then the only other thing I have is that our conference is coming in February. We're still trying to get money, increased funding for WLIP funding. I don't think we've gotten anywhere yet, so Nick's still working hard on that. Does anyone have questions?
Where's your conference gonna be?
Wisconsin Dells, yeah.
Just a question, it seems I saw it here. Okay, in your listing, you created zoning maps for the different cities. I don't know if there was villages included.
Yep.
Is that something we are required to do as a county? Is that something we do out of the goodness of our heart, or is
The
that
goodness
something we
of
do
our
for a
heart.
fee for them?
No, we don't charge any municipalities for any of those things. We have the resources and the technology to do it here. What we've done is created digital zoning maps so they can show them at a meeting online, and then if they wanted to see what it looked like with a zoning change, they could do it live instead of, I don't know if you've seen some zoning maps where there's like a cross off and then something written here and crossed off here, and So no, we just do that out of the goodness of
Okay.
our hearts.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
We got an update from Mary from the clerk's office.
Okay, for the last 3 months, started out in October, Wisconsin Election Commission held their first annual training in Rothschild over by Wausau. That was a 2-day event. It was very informational. I'm glad I went to that. I'm assuming they'll be doing that yearly. It was full of election information that's always needed. We had our work comp audit in October. That was a 2-day thing that happened. The results, you guys got that probably a month and a half ago already. Met with the municipal clerks. I set up a meeting with them in October just to talk, to find out what their concerns were, or if they wanted to see changes on the way things have been handled in the past, or if they keep it the same, whatever they wanted to do. Met with admin about central postage machine, and that sounds like that's coming January 12th. That won't include, sheriff's has their own, and social services still have their own machine at this time, but it will, we are consolidating a couple others, so that'll be something, a new move, but makes sense. November, budget got passed. I read the long version, never again. We successfully uploaded the apportionment to the Department of Revenue website and sent out all the apportionment sheets to all the clerks. That went surprisingly well for my first time. I breathed a sigh of relief on that one. We had an chief inspector training in town of Preston in December. Also in December, Wendy got packets ready for county board people that want to run for county board, the paper copy. We also this year got it put onto the website so that people could pull it off of there. All the information they needed was all in one spot, so that was a new change. And then I've been updating every Monday morning. I haven't done that yet this Monday morning. The latest list of people that have filed to run, or their non-candidacies, that type of thing. So people can see an update on there at any given time, at least once a week. And tomorrow at 5 is the deadline for that. I've got 2 2 districts that have filed late, so that will extend their people turning paperwork in by 3 days. So instead of Tuesday at 5 this week, they'll have until Friday at 5 for a couple of districts. And there's still a couple up in the air, so I'm not sure what those district people are planning on doing. We also had our auditors here to do their winter, start kind of getting numbers together for 2025. They already were collecting that information. We have a potential for 4 elections this year. We'll find out next Tuesday, the 13th, from Wisconsin Election Commission if we're having a primary on the state level for anything. And then turn around by the 26th, we have to have the ballots delivered. So we've got 2 weeks to, when the state finally gives their blessing, and then we have to have the ballots in hand. We have a 2-week turnaround, which is always a hard time for us and the clerks it's just a busy time, but that's how that ball rolls. And then Jeremy came in the office this morning and said that they're gonna start moving us this week and into next. So we'll be moving just shortly down the hall from where we are. It's not you'll still send people in the same direction. We'll just be a door or 2 over within the next week or 2, and he'll have to move some signs just a little bit, I suppose. But otherwise, that's what's happening in the county clerk's office. Any questions?
Sounds good, Mary.
Thank you.
Hearing none. Thank you, Mary. Item 8. By the way, I'm going to close out the public comment session at this point. Don't see anything happening. Okay. Item 8. Update, discussion / possible action, Petrick Park Enhancement Project with Jack A.
Yeah, so did you guys all get a chance to review the report I had submitted in the packet? Tried to give that overarching report we discussed last meeting about kind of where the park is at myself and then moving into the Facilities and Parks Department. So, few things moving along with the project of this scale. So kind of did want to give you guys an overarching report on where the project started, where it's at now. You know, that's a big grant that we did end up getting. We have a tentative award letter. So 50% of the project is covered. Now we're dealing with how do we identify by June 2026 how the county is going to cover that half. So I didn't know if I should share that report. Since you guys have already all seen it, it'd probably just be okay to discuss it. I do have another paper copy, and then some boards in that room behind us that you guys can take a look at after the fact. Those boards were originally constructed when we were going through conceptual stuff. But this is kind of where we've at. We progressed quite a bit. In November, we had SRF here. He said he was going to be about 25% done with the design process, with some more stuff to figure out before June 26, like I had implied. But it's a very monumental project for our county. Getting a grant of that scale for this type of project could be very beneficial for the campground and improving park traffic.
Any questions from anyone? Just to try to fill my brain in on what's something I probably should know. Looking at this, and on our agenda, it says possible action. Was there anything actionable here?
I didn't imply the possible action myself. I believe it was just going to be a discussion
Okay.
with you guys. Basically, that CapEx money that's on the table now, Park would be very interested in it because I'm still going through some 501c3 things with Winona Community Foundation. That just started. So whatever I can figure out internally on what I'm good for on funding before June 26 would be beneficial for me, as I'm still trying to loop a few things together.
Adi?
Just a question, Jack. When you have this new addition, and are those bathrooms gonna be able to handle all that capacity?
It's a great move for us to be able to be in with facilities now, because we can start to address that stuff. I don't have background in, fixing toilets.
I don't know if
You know.
or expanding, because it might increase the use of it for weddings or graduations or whatever. Plus, you might have people coming out there, so you've got a lot more, you might have a lot more people than I didn't know if the facility was designed big enough to
We'd
hold
probably
that.
have to address some updates, but it'd be fine for right now, I'd say.
Okay.
Septic would have to get looked at. We decided to wait until this kind of stuff. We had a clear vision on it, so we decided to put that on hold after we had Highcliff do a consulting thing with us. So we have that information on what we'd maybe do for a plan in the future for septic, but right now, we thought the best thing was to hold at the start of last year. But I'd just like to thank Adam Trenzo and his help in writing that grant with me. He helped me with some editing parts of that in the UW Extension office. So that was a huge thing to have his help on the grant. And, there's a lot of room for improvement out there and, room for more clarity. So I'd like to do my best in providing that to you guys, and this is going to be a fluent working project, and we got to take it one attainable step at a time.
That sounds like a good idea, one step at a time, yes. Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Item 9, system rollout for UKG and Tyler Munis with Rebecca, Stacy, and Amy.
Good morning. Again.
I thought I'd just start and give an overview and start with Tyler, because we're working to implement right now. And so, again, as you all know, we've been going through that process over the last year of transitioning from the current software into this new software system. So the first part to mid part of December, we had on-site Tyler training for all individuals. We held meetings in the Badger Room. I'd like to just acknowledge again Amy and her coordination of everything and getting that set up and follow up with everyone. Good participation on those meetings and learning again about the changes that are coming. Of course, we don't know, we haven't learned everything. We're going to have new things coming out, but we'll roll into this transition right now into Tyler, where the information from our current system is going to be transitioned into the new system over these next few weeks. And so, and then we have on-site training that is going to be happening, coming from Tyler itself, where they have an individual that comes out. We'll have on-site here January 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15 for financial leads, department heads to take, participate in those meetings and actually have scheduled meetings. As a part of that transition, we do have what's called a soft pause on putting new information into the system. So what happens is because all of this old data has to come in, and we don't want to mix things, and we want to give people time to transition and learn into this new system. So I just wanted to bring that. We had several meetings to talk about that over the last few weeks, and part of that was talking about how we let vendors know that there may be a delay in some payments at this point because of this soft pause. This is a common occurrence that organizations go through in order to make this transition. I just put together through, a little query into chat and saying, what are the benefits of, or why do we need a soft pause? So I have this for you and just talking about why it's necessary. It prevents errors during data migration, protects financial controls and audit compliance, allows staff to learn the system safely, ensures vendors and employees receive accurate payments, reduces operational stress, crisis response. So I'm going to pass that out, as well as the vendor letter that we worked as a team as far as talking about. We should have some type of communication to go to vendors. Unfortunately, our vendor list in our current system is so massive that we can't send a letter out to every single vendor, because it's holding so much information of past vendors that aren't currently our vendors, that we would be sending out 50, 60,000 letters. So it's not realistic. So what we determined as a team in talking about is that department heads or fiscals within departments would have this letter that they could send out, that they knew their vendors, that they could send out particular to other individuals, and individuals that we thought might be more stressed as far as they look to make sure that they get those checks right away, that we would be doing outreach, and so that people would actually give phone calls to individuals to give them heads up. So we have written in here that there's this soft pause until January 19th, but that's to give us plenty of time. We're hopeful that it's going to take a lot less time than that. So that's what we're working toward anyway, but we wanted people to understand that. Let me pass this out first, and then I'll kind of go on with a couple of other points. To pass down, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So we did have follow-up communication internally, just to talk about the process within departments and how information had gone in the past to the treasurer and what would happen now. And so partly, the conversation talked about, in the past, people took paper invoices, paper deposits to the treasurer, and now it's gonna go through the software system. So we talked about that. And we also talked about that there would be a 3 PM cutoff time, so that individuals know within this government center that they have to get things to the treasurer's office by 3 PM, and in order for that to be taken care of timely in that day. So deposits can be done, deposits can be taken to the bank and handled just like normal. It's just that we're trying not to bog ourselves down with putting in all of that information while this transfer is happening at the same time, and things get mixed up, so that we don't have a clean system. And that's primarily, the goal of the pause, is to make sure that we have a clean and accurate system going forward.
So just to clarify for me on that, okay, you have a deposit that you take to the bank and you get a paper receipt, is that what we're talking about? That will sit in a file until this is completed and then be entered, is that the, am I following?
It should all still be recorded and kept track of, but not put into the software system at this time, yes.
Okay,
Amy, do you want to add anything?
No, that's how
Okay.
it's gonna work.
If you have other questions, if you want to ask Amy
Yeah.
as well.
Is this compatible with highway departments?
So the highway department has their CHEMS system,
CHEMS,
and we're
right.
going to stay with CHEMS. Do you want to talk a little bit about that maybe? And,
So currently, the highway still does payments and deposits the way through the ACS. It's not through CHEMS. So they're going to be entering their own data, just like any other department will be entering their data into the system. So whether that's invoices, deposits, all of that they're going to be entering that, just like any other department or fiscal within the county.
So they're gonna get away from the chems, or they're
No,
gonna stay?
they're going to continue the
But
CHEMS.
they will, okay, they'll
Yep.
be independent of each other then, or does it work with it?
I'm not sure what everything that they do in the CHEMS part to keep track of stuff. I know they do a lot with their capital assets. The capital assets will also be in Tyler, because that is what we're gonna use to base our insurance coverages off, so we can run reports and get that and have those depreciations there. But the state also tells the highway that they have to use CHEMS for their capital assets.
Right.
So they'll work together, but yet it's gonna be two different systems, but yet they're gonna be working together, I guess.
They will, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that they're together, because it's important to keep that, yeah. How does it work with the county hospitals? Does it work with it, or is it gonna be a big change, or what's going on there?
So currently, the healthcare center, Lori and I have been working together in regards to that. The bills, Lori, you might want to help me out here too on this. We're gonna be able to import it into Tyler, so there will not be any double entries. So that'll be efficient as well.
Yeah, so Amy and I discussed this, that we have our own accounting package at the healthcare center. So that information we'll put that into a file that we need. The check information will be put into an Excel file that we're gonna work on this week to be able to just import that into their system. It doesn't, as far as us entering invoices, we enter all our own invoices into our own software package and our own financial package. So it doesn't make sense for us to then also input those invoices into the county financial package. So we process everything at the healthcare center, and then reports are sent to the courthouse. They just cut those checks for us. So we get those checks back from the courthouse. All the financial processing is done at our facility and in our package.
Oh, that's good when you guys work
It's very
together like
similar
that.
to payroll. It's the same system for payroll. Receipting, we process all of our funds coming in our financial package. We basically just bring the checks here for deposit to the banks. We do have to talk more about that. Pardon me?
Match reporting, 941, 1099.
So the courthouse does, yeah, that won't stay the same too. The courthouse combines our payroll taxes with all of the county's payrolls and submits that reporting.
And you guys are both, you're at ease with that.
Yes, Amy's
Okay.
been very helpful. We've talked it through, what makes the most sense. We should be able to make that work pretty good.
Good, good. It's good to see everything's going, it's pretty smooth.
So far. Yeah. I mean, we know we're gonna have some hiccups. We
Oh,
know
yeah.
we're gonna have some
Everybody-
things
yeah.
to work through. But, so far, everything's right on track for what we were hoping.
Good. Thank you.
Just, okay, here I go again. I'm not sure I heard everything that was said. In the payroll, or not payroll, the taxes. Healthcare pays their own, courthouse pays their own, and then those numbers are coordinated for payment to, or for credit for the government?
I think
No?
if-
Okay.
I think if we could go into the next system and
Okay.
talking about UKG, then we can talk about
Okay,
that some
okay.
more.
Okay.
But I want to make sure everyone's done, like, thinking about Tyler here. It's a big change, but Amy, you've done a
I
great
guess
job.
the only
on
other
it.
thing that occurs to me in this, there are payments needing to be made during that 2-3 week period of time. Are they going to be put on pause for the payment or only the recording of the payment
On the payment,
on the payment?
we still record everything.
So on the payment, we are hoping that we're gonna do a small check run next week when Christy is in-house.
Okay.
Our printer has arrived. We have done a test run on it. So we are in high hopes that this will not get exceeded out to the 3-week timeframe. So those payments can be made. The only thing is it's really hard for us to make that payment because we're in that soft pause.
Okay.
We don't want that double entry and then have it get to be
That part I see on
missed.
follow through. Where my goofy brain goes on this is, I'm assuming a lot of those payments are made electronically, set by a specific date. Is that, or are they all paper checks yet?
All paper checks, yeah.
All paper checks yet, okay. I was thinking,
And we will still be cutting checks, 2025 checks will be cut this week in audit.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
And Healthcare Center has 2 payrolls.
I was concerned about a bill not being paid and a penalty imposed. That's where my concern for the whole thing came from.
And that might happen. We are hoping it's very minimal. That's why we generated the letter, to hopefully help inform our vendors of what is happening and communicate with them, knowing that there is going to be this little idle stage
Right.
until checks are cut.
Okay, okay. Anybody else have anything? I guess we'll see you later, thanks. Okay. File that one in the more study category. Okay,
Okay, now, moving on to UKG. So this UKG is our time management system. So it's a punch in, punch out for hourly. It's, instead of doing, again, paper copies that we would transfer to Stacy all the time, it's electronic, right? And so then people, each individual employee has a dashboard, and they keep track of their vacation, and they keep track of their benefits, and so the benefit again is like you get rid of the paper piece, right? And it's, instead of after putting in my time, like I got a piece of paper always that said my vacation and sick and everything. And it allows access again for the employee to be more in control of keeping track of those things, but also overseeing their their health benefits and things. That'll be also a part of it. And and the taxes and all of that. So anyway, we had the soft rollout. October is what was identified. I would say this has not gone as smoothly as what I would like. The training group that we've been working with is, and this is not unusual necessarily, but it is that we found this group in particular was very much trying to meet their deadlines and push and trying to get things signed off on before there was a comfort level on our end necessarily. So we put kind of a hold on some of the things that we were doing in that soft pause rollout because there were a lot of questions and issues popping up that Stacy was running into. So we've just backtracked a little bit. Let's hold off so that we continue the dual entry on the paper piece and we do the electronic, and now we have started a few groups doing that, but we still are doing that slowly. I would say in the last month, I have concentrated on this myself a lot more in contacting UKG and lining up the people to talk to and finding the right people that we need to talk to in this transition. And I think we've had some good meetings. We've made some progress. I think Stacy has made some progress. I still think there are frustrations, and I think that there's still follow-up that we need to continue to work on. I received, then you put into play end of the year right now and the holidays and such. So it was a lot to try to continue to push forward here. I think in the new year now, I was just sent a resource from one of the individuals that we'll be working with that will provide us a Circle Success group that we will be able to access for questions, resource videos that will help us understand what our process is better, and then getting our team members registered to make sure that we have everyone up and trained on this. And I think one piece is that I'd like to bring in a little bit more on Becky Chandler from over at the highway because she does have some experience working in this system. And so she'll be a part of those conversations as well as we continue to get this all smoothed out and facilitated so that we can implement it fully. They've also added a community assistant that will be something that we can access. I think the biggest thing is that now that we are back and now that the holiday break is done, we'll line up our team meetings that we'll put into place so that we can identify all of the remaining issues, continue our conversations, which this afternoon we have a follow-up meeting with the individual that we had met with previous to Christmas and such, and really started getting us lined up better. So we have a follow-up meeting with her. I'm making sure that I'm a part of those meetings so I can make sure to press them on making sure that we have the right resources for us. So I don't think we're at a point to panic, but I do feel that we need to press on making sure that we continue to get the support needed. I could potentially see that if we need to, if we continue to have problems and can't get the answers that we need, that we may look to an outside group that we've talked to a few and others that have talked about that there are outside groups that can give specific support that just work with us. That may be something that we still need as a transition, but I'm not willing to go there yet because I do believe that we have, I think that we can work together as a team internally to kind of continue to hopefully pull this together yet before that. But I'll let Stacy kind of just come up too and talk about, her feelings about progress. again, I would say, I think it would be helpful as you, as leadership, think about, as a project like this, it would be very helpful to have that finance manager overseeing a project like this and working with all our teams.
When we started this, one of my major things, and Tim Robertson was a big pusher of this, is that I wanted support. Our current support of ACS, I could email on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock and get a response. I cannot here. I spend most of my day on the phone with support. They don't understand. They're reading off a list, and then they say, oh, your implementation team should have did that. And then I call implementation, nope, you need to call support. Well, here I am stuck. So, yeah, it was holidays, but I worked every day. So having someone else would really help, plus a backup. I do not foresee me completing year-end in time. No way. I haven't even got December done, and I worked this weekend. I can only give so much. And implementation, and Tim can talk about this if needed. Implementation, I came to understand that we paid $18,000 for our team to come in and help us set up payroll. It's my understanding it was almost $80,000 for the financial team to be implemented. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying, but I'm on my own.
You're the only one in that department now? What happened to Amy?
Correct.
What happened to Amy?
Amy's in Human Services.
Well, during this time, Amy has worked through partly in being trained as well. We did try to have her as the backup to Stacy, as the payroll person for Stacy. I would say that did not occur like I had hoped. And that's where where I'd like to bring in Becky to be that person, so that we do have a backup person for Stacy. If we wanted to, again, contract with an outside group to come in and be that group that helps be that on-site or, right there person that we need. I guess, again, if that's what we need to do, I don't think that that's that's a bad thing. If we need to do that to get it across the line, but I do feel like there are some things that have fallen through as far as support from them.
If Amy would have stayed, do you think you guys could have worked it out yourselves, you think? And with, the advice from the company?
No, she's been so busy with the financial transition that it's been hard. I would run a lot of questions by her, but I run a lot of questions by Mary too, since she did payroll for 30 years.
So how long would it take you to get this, you think, going down the road pretty smooth?
We're still working on timesheets. We're supposed to have scheduler implemented by now, which is the sheriff's department's thing. Those 3 departments schedule on Teams and Excel spreadsheets. That's supposed to happen into UKG now, but we're not even having our timesheets coming in correctly, to let alone have a whole new module connecting to it.
Where's the UK, where are these people? What do we pay for this? And they're not doing the job, obviously.
Well,
What's going on here?
so-
That's not right.
yeah.
It falls in your court, because we told you, make sure you get something that's compatible with all of it and a smooth transition. And this is kind of what we were afraid of, but.
Yeah, so it's, this system itself is very robust and it's well received. It's one of the biggest systems used worldwide. So, and maybe it is that implementation group that we didn't feel maybe was the problem or issue. That could be the issue. That's why I am working with UKG right now so heavily on trying to get their feedback on how we move it forward.
Yeah, they should be on top of this. You shouldn't have to work every weekends and stuff like that. They should be here fixing it. We paid them good money for this, and they should be here helping everybody implement. There's gonna be, the times when nothing goes right, but if they're right here, you can work together, get it fixed, and then it'll help you understand it probably even more. But this is where I think you, as the head of this, you should get on their case, I think, and press them a little harder. This is bull, we paid good money for this. And
I have been.
and they promised a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of, how did we pay them? Did we pay them up front,
We-
or do we have a percentage and a?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did because
Is there the
we-
potential of a threat to say, hey, we're gonna stop paying if you don't do a better job for us,
No,
or?
it was the ARPA funds that we used
Yep.
in order, and you do have to, pay upfront in bringing in the system.
So they got all their money already.
It's too bad they only paid half, and then you can
Right.
just hold a
It,
second.
it is a subscription-based solution, so they don't have all their money.
Right, and moving forward,
Yep.
yeah.
There's even a module that HR is not going to use, recruitment. That was one of the big ones they wanted, and I guess it's not good, so they're not even going to use that one.
Right, so HR Tyler is meant to be a financial system. They also would offer an HR system for Tyler. We looked at that and went, it's subpar, because they're focused on financials. When we went through the UKG presentation, we also heard their presentation on the HR modules and went, we think that that looks like a good module and that would work, and it would be nice to have it all wrapped into one system. After now that we've started working with them and getting more into the HR piece, it is obvious to us that that system, again, they concentrate on time management, not the HR, just like Tyler doesn't concentrate on other areas. So we feel that the system we have is more robust and that we just want to stay with that system. Again, UKG is a worldwide used system, and multiple counties and cities use it. So it's not that, I think, again, it's the implementation group that we were worked with. That's the issue. I have been on them. I have had many serious conversations with them. That's where I do think we've seen progress in December. Again, it's over the holidays and things like that, but we have seen progress. Now, how will that continue at the beginning of January? Again, we have a meeting this afternoon, and it's very pointed on where we go from here, but that'll be a serious conversation with them again and how things roll out in January. So I'll get a better feel for that today.
My thought would be, if you don't get a better feel, is there anything, well, I say this board, probably, we'd make a suggestion, full county board, to put more pressure on them from a board standpoint, if there's anything that we could or should do from that standpoint.
I could follow up with my colleague friends and asking as well if they've had issues like this, if they've seen any benefit from that, certainly. I think I have, personally, I think I have used that, though, in my, talk with them in trying to get them to the table, which all of those things and the pressure that I have placed on them did get them to the table in December. We had a lot of meetings and a lot of progress, but again, some areas not as much as what we'd like to see. And again, there's a lot of the discussion at it's year end, it's the holidays, right? But they're a huge organization that should not be an effect on them, right? They still have people available. So anyway, again, I think we assess now at the beginning of the year, and now that the holidays are behind us, we continue to see what progress we can get through them, but knowing that we may have to get extra support.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'd just say that, that's bull, what they say, if it's, they're trying to say it's the end of the year. When they took this contract, they knew the time frame we were working with, they knew it was gonna come up towards the end of the year. So come and say, well, it's the holidays, they knew that when they bid that, of the whole project. So they knew what they were getting into, and now they're trying to make excuses why they're not giving us the service that we expected out of a reputable company. And it's very frustrating. You shouldn't have to have people working over the weekends to straighten something out that they should have straightened out, and maybe inform them that all the wages that we have to pay above and beyond their normal wages will deduct from their payment. Threaten them or something that way, because this, using all these excuses this was supposed to be a good company, but it sure is not looking like that.
Yeah.
This Circle community Becky referred to that started this year, I actually used them Friday while I was on support, and I got better answers on that than I did on 4 hours of support calls.
So it's positive to say that we might, this might be the avenue to improve. So, but again, it's a broader conversation that continues this afternoon, and that will get a good determination of where we're at. And then we can reevaluate on the next steps forward. But for sure, I agree with you 100% that they are under scrutiny right now. And I have been in contact with numerous people within that organization.
I would be inclined to think that we should probably get some kind of an update prior to the next, a full monthly meeting, like in 2 weeks. Some
That's
kind of
what
an
I was gonna
update.
ask, is maybe if we could just get an update in
Sure.
within a couple weeks
Yep.
Okay.
and see how this is going. Hope
According to
that
what
that
the information we sent out here, that you feel that it's gonna be normal by the 19th.
That's a separate software.
It is.
That's
okay.
different.
Okay,
That's
so
a
this is gonna
different
be
one.
fine, but the other,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just know from implementing, and I feel your pains, all of you,
Yeah.
for having done this, and I know the transition can be very painful. And having been there and done it myself, it takes a while, but yes, at the end of the day, it will be a good transition, but it's just difficult now.
It is.
So
It is.
keep hanging in there.
Dave, back to your
May I
question
address
about,
the group?
sorry, Tim, go ahead.
I didn't hear you, Stacy. I was just wondering if I could address the group. I want to point out that this transition into UKG is unlike anything we've done before, in that it has a separate implementation team from UKG's actual support team. They've purposely siloed their product. The support team, as Stacy has stated, is mostly useless when it comes to implementation issues, because they outsource that. And that was the contracted process that we went through at the start of this. And we were warned in the reviews of various products as part of this, when the evaluation teams were looking at these softwares, that these more complex payroll solutions, they can have some snags. In many of the references we spoke to, they did not care for their implementation process. I had hoped it wouldn't go this way. I didn't think we were going live until 2026, but the implementation company we contracted, or that was contracted with, they pushed it into October, and we have expressed a great deal of displeasure with UKG, and I think with Becky's assistance, they're starting to understand just how badly they abused us during that implementation, and UKG is going to try and make us whole. But unfortunately, as Becky said, we're in a predicament in that Stacy is swamped and everything else is going on, and getting it fixed now would have been much preferable to get them on the ball a while ago. And unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. They weren't listening to Stacy's concerns and addressing those right away.
No, I would not. I just have
I wish Susan was here.
I know. I I just have one suggestion, and I don't know how you could potentially maybe shift or somehow give Stacy some, at least temporary help in this transition with some of the payroll duties and things like that. I think that would benefit, and maybe having that extra person would also help with other things as well. So,
And I think you're spot on, and that's where I was going as well.
Yep,
And I need
when
to
you were-
have a meeting today, probably with Stacy, because that's where Becky comes into the picture, so that she is support, and that I've already talked to Becky, and Becky is able and willing, so she is going to take on some of that for Stacy.
Is she gonna be able to do both?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So it's gonna be Becky,
Good.
Stacy, and Amy, or just Becky and Stacy?
Becky and Stacy,
So Amy's totally
yeah.
gone.
Yeah, we're using Amy for questions and things and still getting her input on things, but, yeah, she's not gonna be a part of payroll. But Becky and Stacy will be. And the new finance person, once we get a finance person hired, that's replacing Amy.
That's too bad Amy left.
She's still here. She's been really gracious about helping yet and still giving input across areas.
Anything else?
You can graciously come back.
With that, then, I'll just say that I would be, approximately 2 weeks
Sure.
that we get.
Now, in 2
So-
weeks, what, email correspondence, do you think, or?
I think
That was
unless
my
there's
next question,
something
whether an email or
major,
whether we need to have an in-person meeting.
Okay,
yeah, I think
okay,
if we're not making any movement forward, we probably would need to have a meeting.
Right.
Otherwise, I think an update via email,
Right,
does that seem
okay, yeah. I can-
appropriate?
very good.
If the email says we're making good progress, fine. If it says we're still stalled out, then we probably
We
need to
schedule.
schedule a meeting.
Sounds good, thank you. I appreciate your input.
Thank you, Stacy, for all the work you're doing, and Amy, all you guys for what you're,
Appreciate it.
Okay, I think we're ready to move on. Discussion on the RFP for the wage study.
So I wanted to just, as a part of all of this discussion that you just heard, the RFP for the wage study, I did go to the Personnel Bargaining Committee and just shared with them that I think it's wise that we just put a hold on putting that out for right now. Because individuals in these areas will somewhat be involved yet in that process of the wage study. So I'd just like to wait, and I talked to PB about waiting to put that out until March or April, and they said, great, and I wanted to just let you know that as well.
Okay? Anybody got any questions about that? Okay. With that, we will move on to the update on the funding regarding reclassification. Financial analyst position to finance manager.
This is the 2026 admin budget that this position falls under for the finance manager position. As you're aware, the change in the wage would need to be bumped up for that position. And under professional services is where I had shared with you that I would take those funds from. And I just wanted to share and show you this. In professional services, this is used to pay for government solutions. I don't have a contract for them yet this year, but I'm expecting that to be about 20 to 25. We pay for the union, when we get outside counsel from law services, Weld Riley, or other, sometimes legal necessity that we have, if we need legal information on HR-related topics. And so that is where I'm proposing or have shared that that's where the funds would come from. And I just wanted to update you. I did not have this the last meeting to share that with you.
Okay, the highlighted number for professional service, 40,500. That, I don't have the rest of the original budget. That was the original amount in your budget, and you're planning to take the extra out of that, so that number will be reduced? Or this 40,000 is the number after you've taken some away?
No, I have not taken anything away, correct. So what would happen is I had proposed the 10,000 out of there to go into the salary. So that has not happened yet.
So that would
Correct.
bring that down to 30.
Correct.
Okay, so,
Salary.
If I've got to remember, I believe it was 80,000, about
yeah,
80,000.
80,000 was what you
Yeah.
had presented.
Yeah,
And the current one was at 70.
correct.
So it was a $10,000 increase for this position to be changed.
Oh. But we voted this down. How can, we can't do nothing with this? We,
No, This,
this is what we voted down 2 months ago when we did budget. First you proposed financial manager or analysts. One was first and then one was second. It was voted down twice.
we voted down the money for it
Both
separately.
of them, for both of them, which was, to me, the indication that we were not, this is not the avenue we wanted to go down. We didn't want
I
one.
agree. I would have loved if this didn't show up for a year. It would have been a much better thing if fit for me. But this is her internal budget. The total amount was approved. She has every right to change those numbers to make them fit her wants and needs.
But it shows no respect for the board who told her with a vote, gave her the direction that this is the way we wanted to go. We didn't want to go this way. And then just to turn around and within days of the vote, she got personnel to say it's okay to hire a person such as this. And I'm going, "Look, we just voted it down twice. And we said we'd look at it maybe next year, towards the end of the year, or for next year's budget. Nobody was against it. But to sit here and after, to me, when your boss tells you, no, this is not the direction we want to go, and you turn around and you go that direction anyway, is not, it says no respect for the board, and we're the boss here. We're the one. So if we tell you this is not where we want to go, then you shouldn't go there, in my book. I'm upset over that because I mean, I don't care if you can pull money out of that budget any place and stick it in there. It's what the board as a whole, which way we wanted to go. And this is not the way we wanted to go. I think we need to hire somebody to take Amy's spot. Yes, we do. And I think it'd be two good, really good people there.
But if, instead of spending the money for a position such that Amy had, for an additional 10,000, we can have somebody overseeing the finances of the entire county.
I don't think Amy was making $70,000.
When
So
you're
You
looking.
can't say that. You gotta give the
It's
right
more than
figures.
10.
Show me the figures on paper, and then if you show me what they make, Amy makes, and what you're proposing you're gonna make, and what it's gonna cost, because we
What,
didn't say
you're
it
going
was-
down a different rabbit hole than I think I am. My concern is that there's somebody with a financial degree, experience, whatever forte, that can oversee the entire budgets of the entire county and know what's going on, have their finger on the pulse continuously. When we hired an administrator, we said at that time that we were going to let the administrator come in get into their position, decide what it was that they felt that our county needed and what their strengths and/or potential weaknesses were, and that they would determine that at the time. Now we're 2 years in, and this is what we're looking at. I think that having at least some trust in the person that is overseeing the county as a whole. We have moved further in the last couple of years as far as garnering grants and moving forward with economic development.
Don't camouflage this.
So-
The grant thing, we didn't get, we got a couple grants, they shouldn't
But
even
we're
write them.
policymakers. We
So-
are not running this county
Yes, we do. We are the
administratively.
boss here, and we can go off of her recommendations if we so choose. And we hired her to be a financial person. We said to supervise and look at the financials, not to sit there and hire this and hire that and farm this out. I don't like the way it was done. I'm not against this, and I told you that. I just don't like the way this was done. This was done behind the back door, sneaky, and I don't like this. Because I think we need a good person in there. I think we had two really good people here that are in there. I would rather just say, let's give them a little more money.
I don't think this would have come up except for the fact that there was a change in positions within the county. I don't think this would have ever been here now. I think you're seeing it as something that was done behind the scenes, but, I mean, we're talking now, we've known about it for a month, or just a little bit less, maybe.
I'm just telling you, this is not the way to run it in my book. I will not vote for this. I think we need to have to hire somebody to help in that office now, to take Amy's spot. And I think the girls we
I
have
think
there.
this is just an answer to a question that we had at our other meeting.
Right.
We're not taking a vote, we're not asking anything.
I
This
know,
is a
I see that.
decision.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna support it. It's conversation here. I just don't understand how, when we set policy or give direction by the way we vote, that's what you should do.
We're not gonna be voting on this right now anyway,
No.
because personnel bargaining.
There's no
I'm
vote.
agreeing with you, Audie, but I think we're just sitting there,
And
our
we can't
hands
do nothing
tied.
about it, but I think we just had discussion on it, and that's about all we can do. You're right, Doc. So,
I think if
do
this,
agree with you, Audie.
if this comes to pass, I think you will find that a finance person in that office will be of great assistance, and that our entire county will benefit from it. So I think I would just like to say, wait and see.
Yep, I think that's what we have to do. And really, I think we've kind of hashed this over beyond reason at this point.
I think I would just like to comment and just saying, I mean no disrespect. I'm in charge of looking at the organization as a whole and organizational change. And that is a part of what an administrator is in charge of. I see things where we need oversight. And so I have to bring those things forward. I asked you during the budget process to make that a priority. It didn't go through. Then I have to look at organizational change and how to make sure to protect the county, because I see things that we do need a manager to oversee our operations in finance. So that's all I have to say about it. I understand you don't agree, but that is a part of my duty in this position, is organizational operations and organizational change.
I think we're ready to move on. The information that was asked for was provided, and that's really all it was for today. Item 12, discussion on tax levy freeze adjustment. It's got my name attached, and right now, I gotta try to find the darn thing again. Somebody have something on it? What? Forest County, yes. And it was a whole, like, 2 or 3 pages, right?
So last month, there was a resolution from Forest County that was put onto the agenda for consideration. And I know I had contacted you to see whether there was a desire to bring it forward, because some of the numbers would be harder to adjust from our office's perspective, so
So,
that's what I recall from.
okay. And right now, I'm about 90% blank on what I've even talked about with it, but. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about on this item? Do we want to proceed with that? Or do we want to just say, it was fun to read, but we don't want to do anything? What do we want to do?
What were you interested in doing? Was there something that you,
It's, to me, reading it, I got so confused. It seemed quite complicated, and I wasn't sure what we were asking for in the end, at the end. I was hoping for some clarification. But,
I think we move on.
because it had to do with,
We do our own
basically, it
thing.
was a letter to legislators
Right,
asking them to make changes,
right.
and how this all came about. And I wasn't sure, the more I read it, the more confused I got as to what it was actually saying.
And I know that going from last month, we were debating whether we would adopt Forest County's resolution.
Right, yep.
Just modified for
And then
Trempealeau
we
County.
talked about having you possibly rewrite it for Trempealeau County, but I don't think we ever actually instructed you to do that. So,
There's plenty of others going on right now.
yeah, that's,
They're gonna do what they want to
so, if anybody, is that what we're gonna do? Put it on ignore? Sounds like unless you have
For
a real
now, I
objection to
think-
that idea.
I have no objection, and what I'm hearing is that it's tabled indefinitely.
Right, yep,
And so we do need a motion.
okay,
But thank you for
Okay.
the
I'll
clarification.
make a motion to table it indefinitely.
indefinitely.
Second.
And a second. Any questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
you.
Carried.
Do you want it back on the agenda or leave it
No,
off at this
no.
point then?
Yeah, right, tabling indefinitely basically takes it off the agenda, correct? Yep.
It could always come back.
Come back if
but
somebody
it's-
wants to.
there's no set date.
Item 13, update/discussion on Western Wisconsin Workforce Development Board concerns regarding disallowed WWWD board cost and the effect on Trempealeau County with John.
Well, anyway, this is something been going on for years, and we were just basically, this last year, brought up to date from, learned a lot of things that we never knew before. Primarily, when first got on that board, I think it was like six, I actually did it, I think, for Zigman too. But anyway, Workforce Development Board is based out of La Crosse, and there's an 8-county consortium. It consists of Buffalo, Trempealeau, Jackson, La Crosse, Juneau, Monroe, and Crawford. I think that's 8. I don't know.
I thought I saw Vernon in there too, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah, Ernest in there
Yeah.
too. Anyway, this last year, we became aware that if there's a problem with the board makes a mistake, or administration makes a mistake at WDB, the counties are responsible for it, the consortium. At least we got it to the point it goes by population. This is by federal law, it ain't nothing to do with, we have to follow the law. So at this point, right now, they're just now did 2022's books, and we have, it was like 3,300 or something like that, that we're supposed to pay. It's 30-some thousand dollars for 2022, which means there could be more, 23, 24, 25, they haven't even done the books yet. But it's not that they did anything particularly illegal, it's just that they misallocated or misinformed the state of what they did with the funds, how, missed the allocations, didn't do it correctly anyway. So they disallowed the funds, and it makes the counties responsible for it. Well, being one of the, Buffalo County's smaller, Juneau's smaller, Vernon's kind of smaller, La Crosse and Monroe are the major counties, so they get the biggest share of the deal because it's going by population. I think our share for 2022 is 3,000 something?
It's something close to that. I believe it's
Yeah.
roughly 10%.
Yeah. It's just under 10%, 9 point some percent, split up in the state counties. So anyway, I have on a regular board meeting coming, I got Sarah Dietrich, or probably the attorney from, we've been getting a ton of help. We did this back in June. We met in Madison with Wisconsin, and finally got them convinced that we are a county, and so they're furnishing legal fees and WCA's at every meeting we have. We used to meet quarterly, then we started meeting like 3-4 times a month. Now we're meeting pretty much monthly. It's coming around. Our goal was to get a agent to handle all that stuff by the end of the year, and we appointed Wisconsin, or the district college down there, what do you call it? Tech school.
Tech school?
Yeah, it's going to, if that goes through, they're appointed and they agreed to it. They're just gonna study it and let us know what it costs for them to do it, so we'll know that this month sometime.
So as of right now, it's still out there, but
Yeah.
there's nothing to be paid on an immediate basis. We're still
Well, it's getting close,
negotiating.
but I don't know when, but maybe Sarah Dietrich, Garsdorf, or Lisa Malone, either one of those two, they're gonna actually come to our next board meeting, because
okay.
I think everybody should be aware of what's going on with this thing. It's been a real mess. It's it's at least 2 years in the process to get this straightened out. We were at one point wanted to file bankruptcy and just get out of it. Even that would take 2 years. And then you have to go to another county. So I don't know, so anyway, I got Sarah coming, and hopefully she can explain it better than I can, because she's been working on it pretty much steady and been to all our meetings, plus going back and forth with the state. I have too, and so it's been kind of a trying time, but hopefully get it straightened out in the next, well, I know it's gonna take a couple of years, but at least we'll get caught up here within the 30, couple months anyway. So that's all I got on that, and there'll be more brought to the board meeting.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on it? Okay, we'll wait till the board meeting for more questions. Okay. Item 14, discussion, possible approval of 2 donations to the county WTCO for 2026. Lexi Boyne.
Good morning. Per our current donation policy, I'm just bringing forward some donation checks that we got for WTCO. The funds are used for equipment updates and to continue with WTCO supporting the community. So the 2 I have, one is from Tri-County Communication for $2,916.20. And then the second one is from the Elk Rod and Gun Club for $1,000. So per the policy, I have to bring them here, let you guys know, and then I also have to bring it to PTED. Since I got them after our last PTED, I would have gone there first, but a little backwards since they're tomorrow, and I don't want essentially almost $4,000 waiting for people. So, Susan?
Thank you. Supervisor Larson just asked if we need a motion, and you will. And just for the committee's clarification or awareness, Lexi is absolutely correct. We do have a donations policy from 2019. As part of the process as we started last year and discussed last month as well, we'll be updating that. But consistent with the policy, it requires both exec finance as well as PTED. And then there were also several things that had to be considered, including any possible conflict of interest, the potential use of the donation for basically self-promotion, advertising, the use of the donation, restrictions, costs, and so forth. And we went through those, and there weren't any issues with that either. So just to provide that information as well.
This point
Mr. Chair, does the cable give us quarterly checks, or?
Yes,
Right.
they do.
But they
I didn't hear you.
The cable company gives us
TCC, okay.
quarterly checks.
Okay.
So it usually comes out to be, what is it, total is gonna be like 11,000.
Yeah, 9 to
Yeah.
10,000.
And do we have to amend the budget then to show that? Because they didn't show any income in the budget.
So this is new. This is unbudgeted for 2026, is it, or is it 2025?
The cable company's been donating
Right.
for years. And we used to show it as income, but this year there was nothing there on income. So
No.
do we have to amend the budget or can we just, or how do we handle that?
Do you want to clarify what was in your department's budget for 2026?
So that was on my end. I had missed it when I had submitted it. It would be going into a non-lapsing fund. And I had talked with Mary, Amy, and Paul. I don't have the number on me, but I could grab that if you need it. I'm not sure about if we need to amend.
So we have a couple of departments that I think it's a good problem to have.
Oh,
They
yeah, it's
have-
a
they-
great thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
they have more income than what they originally thought they would. And so we'll have to look at that a little bit further.
I just,
No, it's a good question. We might have to. I think you will have one resolution coming from a different committee that's for that.
Can we actually budget if it's a donation? Can we actually put that in our
I think it's hard to
budget?
budget for that. We
Yeah.
gotta look at that.
the only one, Bridget, is what TCC they give every
Yeah,
year.
that's a little different, I think.
That's different, yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to
So
tell what
it's
a
not,
donation is,
the
but it
money's
goes out to
coming from
customers.
TCC is not a donation. It's an overage or,
No, it's,
No,
What
it's a
is it?
donation.
it's based on, I think, the customers that they have.
Kevin, if you wanna, he's back there. You want me to grab him?
It's more complicated than
Okay.
a standard
I think-
donation. So we can provide more information later if Lexi, if you want to come back or
Okay.
follow up separately with the committee.
Okay.
so are you looking for a motion to accept?
The two donations.
I'll make that motion to accept the two donations one from TCC and the other from the Rod and Gun Club.
For what it's worth, the TCC money, our local Lions Club get a check from them every year, and we consider it as a donation. They just they decide what it's gonna be, so I think this is the same thing, so.
This one is, this is a little different, Doc. This is,
No,
TCC, but for the Lions, that comes out of a different fund. This comes.
Oh,
this
they're
is-
two
I think-
different funds, you
I
think?
think this
Okay,
is based
okay.
on the customers, and they had some formula drawn up before you got there, like.
Okay, I was gonna say,
And
okay.
every year they donate a certain percentage to, like, every cable customer that they have. But yeah, that other one comes out of unused claimed funds, so.
So, okay, we had a motion. I don't think I had a second yet.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Okay, now is there any more discussion, questions? Hearing none?
Thank
We don't
you.
have to have a roll call for this, do we?
Yeah, let's do it. It's Monday.
Okay, roll call. Bridget?
Yes.
Doc?
Yes.
Adi?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
And Dave, yes. So, 5-0 vote, it's approved. Item 15, discussion, possible action on contracting for the development of a high-level regional child care plan for Trempealeau County with consideration of north, central, and south areas of the county. I'll start with Rebecca. Talk to me about this. As most of you probably know, I have real concerns about government-run daycare.
It worked pretty good in Minnesota.
Yeah, they're making money hand over fist over it. Somebody is.
We could just have some of that, we'd take care of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is something she's been working on to attempt to help, I'll call it private or semi-private or non-county childcare. And it's a planning process is what we're discussing today. Go.
Okay. So you have a handout in front of you. This was a part of your packet as well. And so, yes, if you remember, the board as a whole had set aside $250,000 to look at possible help that the county would be involved in with startup of childcare. I had a lot of great conversations at that time in talking with business in the hospital and also with Whitehall School District about potential startup. Things have changed, right? Things have changed within schools, and so we have a broader conversation at this point. And so I have followed up with conversations with Superintendent Bigley and Jolene Wendt, who is the childcare coordinator for the Arcadia School District. So the three of us have met several times and really feel like the next step in looking at, again, the issue is still there. It affects our communities, it affects the county, it affects our businesses, which business, and one of the biggest businesses within the county is, they are understanding of this issue. I think the difficulty is what do we do about it? And so in talking with Superintendent Bigley and Jolyn, we talked about a next step on setting up a concept overview plan with the help of Jolyn, because she is the child care provider and understands all the intricacies of child care. And so this would be contracting with her and working with myself and Superintendent Bigley to put together a plan for a regional framework for childcare across the county. So it would be looking at the potential in the north, south, and mid region of the county and putting that together first, and then looking for potential partners once we have that put together in order to put a detailed implementation plan together. Or that would look more at finalized budgets, what would be needed to make a center successful. But we feel like we need this high-level overview first as a regional piece, so that if we have a partner in the southern region of the county that's interested in partnering with us, we have a plan and we can start somewhere with them. If we have a partner in the central part of the county or in the northern part of the county, it would give us some preliminary information that we can do outreach as well. So that's the piece I'm coming to you today in saying I'd like to start, at least in recommend working with Jolyn to do this first option A, is just so that we would work together as looking at a regional childcare concept for the county. Estimated cost of this is about $2,600 to $3,000. So we are paying someone for their time. So that would come out of the funds that the county had set aside, that the board had set aside in 2025 for the child care piece. And then option B, at least I'm saying that we would put this as a future consideration. That is going to cost more, around $5,000 to $6,000, $5,000 to $6,500, I would estimate. It's more involved, but I think it's more, I would see that more once we have a conversation with individuals that might want to partner, how we could be the team person to help further that conversation. So I'm hoping for questions first off, and just in that your interest and support of option A might be something that you would approve to use the funds set aside for childcare last year to pay for that.
I think my first comment would be is that we obviously know that there's a problem virtually nationwide. And I think that as leaders of our community, to begin to have those conversations, obviously, we don't know how it's gonna shake out. We don't know who or how or directly how it could be funded, but actually having the conversations, I think, cost us minimum money. And seeing where it goes and getting those people together for ideas to solve those issues, because obviously it's a problem mid-county and northern part of the county, but believe it or not, it's a problem in the southern part of the county. Even though there's more direct access to Onalaska lacrosse, it's a problem for them as well. Where it goes from there, it could or would be anybody's guess, but I think the conversation should be had, and I think the ideas that could come from the county itself would be valuable to our community.
I think it's a conversation, oh, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, well, just a comment I made about Minnesota. It's pretty front and center nationally right now, and we would need the federal government, and as long as we've never been involved at all, it's a good time to at least do some discussion, I think. And the $3,000, I wouldn't have a problem with.
I don't either, as long as the conversation also, includes conversations, discussions, feasibility of the small 1 and 2 person operation is as important to me or more important than the 40, 50 kid operation.
Agreed, and I know back a few years ago, the village of Trempealeau had a couple that was going to buy a piece of property and open up a large daycare center and also have an after-school program. The plan was they were going to employ 100 people. The economic portion of that would be huge, not to mention before they even got a loan, which they didn't get that far, their wait list was full. And they were going to have up to 130 kids if you included the after-school program. And we still would need more childcare. So,
And that was just for Trempealeau?
just for the village, in that area, that surrounding community.
A lot of people, it is a discussion, like you say, all throughout the county, and people are, all the information that they've given me was, they're a little more, they don't want government to run a daycare.
Right.
If we can help them, more power to us, and I agree with you, that spending
That's exactly
$2,000 or
where I'm at.
$3,000.
We
to
can
see-
assist, but not.
Yeah.
Yes.
And going with, maybe the schools are trying to help the private part of it, that'd be great, but
Right.
most people overall say just keep government out of it.
Yeah, utilizing those business incentives to helping them to get off the ground, or a business incentive after they've had their business open for 3 or 5 years, whatever that might be, but having the discussions with the other partners, whether it be the hospitals and the school districts, and, because they're all having the same issues.
Right, yep. So at this point, do we need to form a motion to actually take that money set aside and spend it now? We're looking for a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Not all of it, just the.
Just
Up-
up to
Up to
$3,000.
$3,000
Right.
to start working on that, yes.
No, not. Okay,
And I'll
motion is
second
to
that.
spend up to 3,000 on this project, and I have a second from Doc. More comments or questions?
Yeah, call a roll there too, I suppose.
I suppose, yep. Okay, here we go again.
Turner,
Bridget?
yes.
Stacia, yes.
Yes. Dottie?
Russell, yes.
And Dave, yes. So we got a 5-0 again. That's good.
Good. And that was for option A then?
Option A, yes. Yeah. Okay, I think that, item 16 is confirm the date for the next meeting, which is February 2 of 2026. Anybody have a problem with that? That is then the set date.
It's the day after my birthday.
What's that?
Day after my birthday.
Oh,
That's fine. I don't go out anymore for my birthday.
No, that's right, it's the next.
It'd be the 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
that day anymore.
With that, I will adjourn the meeting at 9:35.